What is happening, guys? Lawson here. So, the other day I was perusing the internets on Tackle Warehouse and came across these really tiny little flukes right here. Let me pull one of them out of the bag for you. I mean, these are little micro dogs right there, little babies, 3-inch flukes. And I thought to myself, you know what? Those would be really good for tarpon. So I decided to order some and wanted to come out this morning and throw them for tarpon. And then I got thinking, I'm like, they're probably good for a lot of stuff. And I was like, well, I wonder what we can catch and how many different species we can catch on these little baby micro flukes. So that is what we're doing this morning. Tarpon is the end goal, to catch a tarpon, but I mean, while we're at it, let's just see how many different fish we can rack up. And a big tarpon just hit to my left. Anyways, let me show you what we're gonna throw this on. But because it's such a light little fluke, we're running a 1/4 ounce jig head right there. That is a Z-Man jig head with that big giant eye. 20-pound fluorocarbon, 15-pound braid, medium light 7-foot rod, 3,000 size reel. That is the dealio here. We're gonna get thrown and see what we can get on this morning. Oh, just a little jack, not a tarpon. That is one of the most banana colored looking jacks I've ever caught right there. Well, first fish, not what we're looking for, but we'll see if we can catch one of these little tarpon here. I don't think it's a tarpon. Yeah, little jack again. I guess it's what you expect when you're throwing that small fluke, but I think a big tarpon should eat this. There's a fish. Oh my gosh, a little dinky snook. There he goes. Gosh, even that little tiny snook frayed my line. I need to retie it. Oh, a little snook. Little fat snook. Been a while since I've caught one of these. The micro fluke is producing. Nothing big yet. Little fat snook right there. Okay, sorry buddy. What is this? Oh, a ladyfish. Alright. Oh god, there's one. There's one. Oh my gosh, what is going on? My like anti-reverse got knocked loose. But it's just not working. What the heck's happening right now? Oh my gosh, this is just awful. My anti-reverse and my reel just isn't working. Okay, just don't let go of the reel. Oh, there he goes. Gosh, what the freak, dude? What just happened? The anti-reverse on my reel just broke. That's the first time I've ever had that happen. What the heck? Gosh, that is so freaking annoying. Well, I don't really understand why the anti-reverse decided to break. That's perfect. But, what do you know? The little micro fluke worked. Alright, well, don't know what quite to say about that. Re-rigged, I had to retie to get rid of some of the chafing on the leader. I don't know what just happened to my reel, to be honest. Like, it's not doing it now. Now the anti-reverse is working. About 2 minutes too late. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. I guess I'm gonna have to have this reel serviced. That was really just pretty next level unfortunate timing for a reel to break right there. All right, we're gonna flip some docks with the little Fluke while we look for our tarpon still. You know, we've hooked a tarpon, hooked a ladyfish, landed a jack, landed a snook. But I would really love to land a tarpon today. That's pretty much the goal as of now with our little baby Flukes that we're using. There's the fish. It's probably the third or fourth jack of the day right there. We're hitting a lot of those little guys. Oh, nicer snook here. Ah, he's still a little one, but oh, I just pulled off. Come on. I'll tell you what, getting a ton of bites on this thing. Obviously, when you're throwing a bait this small, a lot of your bites aren't very big. That was like a 23-inch snook that just came off there, but definitely get a lot of bites on it, that's for sure. You know, I definitely won't put it past a big snook to eat this, and obviously a big tarpon as well, because big snook, I mean, I don't know if I mean 40 inches, but maybe, but like 30-inch to like 36-inch plus, they still eat glass minnows. They still love to eat glass minnows and little finger mullets. And tarpon, that's, I mean, they mainly feed on glass minnows and finger mullets. So this, ooh, this got hit again. This little presentation is working really well in terms of bites. With just like when you throw a small bait, you get a lot of little bites, but you never know if a big fish might come out and decide to stick it as well. So you're just kind of playing your odds here. All right, things are winding down for the mini Fluke here. We got a big bridge in front of us. We're gonna throw this around the bridge pilings. I would guess we could probably catch some decent sized snapper, some little snook. Tarpon like to stay underneath bridges as well, but we'll see what happens. You know, we had our chance at a tarpon and he was able to get off due to some reel malfunctions, but it's been a good day so far. Nothing humongous, but we've been getting a lot of bites. There's a fish. I think it's just a jack. Oh no, tarpon! What the heck? Okay, that was unexpected. All right. That was not what I was going for here, but like I said, there is tarpon underneath bridges. Stay down, buddy. Stay down. He's coming up, coming up, coming up. There we go. Kept him on. All right. Tarpon dream is still alive for the moment. As long as my GoPro doesn't die. This one's being nice to me and kind of staying down a lot more than just flailing like a madman. Second I tried to reel, he kind of just started getting coming up, coming up, coming up. All right, let's see if we can land. I'm just being really sensitive on this thing because I'm using 20-pound leader right now. And tarpon have just one of the most abrasive mouths. Oh gosh, almost into the boat on me right there. Still on. Okay, time to land this sucker. There we go. There's our beautiful little tarpon right there on the micro Fluke. That is what we've been looking for all day. We won't leave him out of the water too long, just a little 5. Okay. All right, buddy. Whew. Well, right on. There's our tarpon that we've been looking for all day on this little Fluke. He was giving me a hard time, man, but this was hooked pretty deep, and it was hooked right in the roof of his mouth, and that's why it really stayed hooked up and stayed on. Oh, tarpon are just so much fun to catch, but they get your nerves going, even a little one like that. What perfect timing is that? My GoPro literally just died. Yeah, even little ones like that get your heart pumping and make you nervous. Something that I will say, just for your information, tarpon over 40 inches, you are not legally allowed to bring them out of the water. That one was not even close. He was probably like 28 inches long, if that. But when they're over 40 inches, you cannot legally remove them from the water. And I see so many photos on Instagram and videos on YouTube of professionals and people who are yanking tarpon out of the water that are just too big to move out of the water. It's not good for them. They're just not meant to come out of the water when the fish get that big. So just don't do it. And also don't pick them up by the gill plate. Anyways, enough preaching at you. That was cool, man. That was very awesome. I'll retie, throw for a little more. I think we'll call it a day. Alright, we'll call it there. Micro fluke time is over. I mean, this little guy, I got an unbelievable amount of bites on it, which really doesn't surprise me. When you throw a smaller presentation, you open yourself up to be hit by literally any fish, because a 2-inch snapper can try to eat a little fluke like this. And hooked a lot of little snook and some little jack and a little ladyfish, then hooked a tarpon, and then finally landed a tarpon. That felt very nice to finally land one. It's been a while since I've actually landed a tarpon and had one in the boat and in my hands. I hook a lot of them. I lose a lot of them. But I mean, today was fun. The micro fluke, I mean, my judgment call would be on it. If you're targeting tarpon, go for it. I think it's killer for tarpon. To be honest, it worked really well. If you're targeting snook and jack, I mean, maybe if you want to catch a lot of numbers and a lot of little fish, like if you have someone out who doesn't fish very often, or you have someone young on the boat who they just want to catch a bunch of fish, tie on a little fluke for them and let them throw it. They'll probably catch a lot of fish. But today was a ton of fun, man. It was really just, I came out here this morning actually not planning to throw this little fluke around, and then I decided I wanted to fish for tarpon, and then all of a sudden, you know, I was looking through my bag and remembered I ordered these little flukes, and I was like, all right, let's do that, man. And it ended up working out. Finally landed a tarpon, which was great. But anyways, that is it for me, guys. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed the video.